Us. We appreciate you taking out the time and filling us on those very important points. And with me in the studio is the Major General retired Shashi Asthana. So thank you so much for joining us. We have Pathikrit Payne, strategic expert, who's also with us in the studio. We're also joined by Colonel Dinesh Nain, who's a defense expert. In fact, Pathikrit, let me begin with you. Whatever Pakistan is doing in its own country, be it the largest export for which they are known for, which is terrorism. Secondly, it is also the subservience of people in Balochistan and Gilgit-Baltistan. That is also something that they feel is their concern. They should not be meddling with India's affairs, and the fact that they have been running from post to pillar, trying to create some sort of a fake agenda against India, surprisingly, astonishingly, has got some traction, and the United Nations has decided to give undue heed to China, who's known for itself for human rights violation, and they're having a meeting about this. What do you have to say about this? Isn't this preposterous?
No, first of all, the thing, Pakistan would continue to do these things for quite some time now. The reason is very simple. Kashmir has been the central aspect of their foreign policy, and their army has been extracting hundreds of billions of dollars from that wretched country in the name of Kashmir. So now they have realized they can't go for a full-fledged war, so they are doing all this nitpicking. So far as China is concerned, the reason China is trying to do is because they are feeling jittery. Because of the POK thing, because of the huge investments they have in POK, they are feeling that it can have a trigger effect. Yes, they have a lot of things happening in their own backyard, and that's why I think one of the very interesting thing is that they have asked for a closed door meeting. And I'm sure the reason they asked for a closed door meeting is because they are also aware of the fact that a lot of uncomfortable questions will be raised on the issue of what is happening in Hong Kong, what is happening in Xinjiang province, what is happening in Balochistan, and they will be asked questions as to how is it something which is not compromising on the sanctity of the LOC becomes an India-Pakistan issue. So I think these uncomfortable questions will be asked. That's why they have asked for a closed door thing. And let's understand, this is just a consultation. This is not even a meeting where any kind of resolution will be passed, leave alone voting. And China also knows that, a very interesting thing I'll tell you, even though all these things that they're doing, they would be the first to dance and come into J&K investors meet in October, because that's the way the Chinese are. But they're trying to do all these things to create some kind of pressure on India, and the Indian diplomacy and the government have understood this is how the Chinese play it, so they're not reacting too much. So far as this meeting is concerned, look, when one of the P5 members asked for some kind of a meeting like this, this has been given some kind of weightage, but doesn't mean that anybody is interested. Chinese diplomats also know one thing, that the same bitter pill they would have to digest this time, because if it goes for the UNSC resolution or anything like that, this thing will be vetoed by France, by Russia, and possibly with the Americans. The same veto power which the Chinese have used against us for a long time. So let's understand, there is a lot of compulsion in Pakistan to do this. The Chinese are doing it to put pressure, but they know both that is not going to work beyond.
The question that